Behind every flawless smile in the skies and on the seas lies a hidden world most passengers will never see. Exhaustion, humiliation, vanishing lives, and rules designed to break rather than protect. These are the confessions of crew members, the voices usually silenced. Stay with this until the end because number 1 will forever change the way luxury travel is seen.
Welcome to Sail Lifestyles. If you're new here, you're in the right place. And to all our returning viewers, thank you for being part of this journey.
Before we begin, support these unheard voices. Hit subscribe now because when these truths spread, change becomes harder to ignore. And after watching, share your thoughts below. Should passengers bear some responsibility for the system's suffering? Leave a comment. 75% of people won't. Prove them wrong. To most travelers, a crew member's work begins when uniforms appear and greetings echo. But behind the curtain, reality is harsher. Pay does not start until the airplane door closes. Hours spent clearing security, managing boarding chaos, or enduring endless delays are invisible and unpaid. One veteran confessed to working 5 hours before takeoff entirely for free. On cruise ships, the unpaid stretches are even longer, with crew often prepping areas for guests from sunrise until late morning, without a cent. It is a system fueled by hidden labor, leaving those who make travel possible drained before the journey has even begun. Dreams are cut short not by skill or ambition but by inches. Airlines reject candidates for being too tall or too short with no exception. Perfectly qualified hopefuls are turned away because they don't fit into a narrow box of measurements. One applicant saw a career collapse before it even began, denied for being a single inch outside the range. The glamour of serving passengers high above the clouds is guarded by silent height barriers that crush dreams before the first uniform is ever worn. Heart attacks, seizures, even births. Passengers may believe trained doctors are on board, but in most cases the first line of response is a flight attendant armed only with a basic first aid kit and nerves of steel. One recalled stabilizing a passenger midair as the plane dropped toward the nearest airport. Imagine the weight of a life in your hands, with no sleep, no medical training beyond the basics, and hundreds of others watching. These are not isolated incidents. Lives are saved not by glamour, but by exhausted workers pushed far beyond their limits. Fatigue is not an accident, it is engineered into the system. Jet lag, red-eye flights, overnight turnarounds, and noisy shared bunks at sea turn crews into walking shadows. One flight attendant admitted to handling an emergency landing after just 3 hours of rest. Others on ships describe weeks without a full night's sleep, serving from early breakfast buffets until midnight shows. Fatigue dulls reaction times, weakens judgment, and places everyone at risk. When the people responsible for safety are sleep-starved, disaster is only ever a breath away. The myths are not just playful rumors, they are disruptions. Couples sneak into lavatories, blankets and cabins hide fumbling hands. And when caught, consequences are serious. Some leave the plane in handcuffs, escorted directly to waiting police. Crew members admit to stopping dozens of these attempts, calling them both humiliating and unsafe. What appears as lighthearted mischief to some becomes yet another burden for workers, already under immense pressure. And, compared to the codes whispered through the intercom, these indiscretions are tame. Harmless words mask devastating truths. Code Alpha, Operation Bright Star, terms that mean nothing to passengers but everything to crew. These codes hide medical crises, onboard deaths, or even missing colleagues. One insider recalled hearing the code during a desperate search for a crew member who vanished overboard. To passengers, paradise continues uninterrupted. To crew, it is silence, sorrow, and sometimes tragedy that no brochure will ever show. Luxury glitters above deck, but beneath it lies another world. Windowless bunk rooms stacked in narrow rows, dining halls where crew eat separately, forbidden from mingling freely with guests. Some workers complete entire contracts without ever stepping foot into passenger areas except while serving. On cruise ships, life is divided. Passengers live in sunlight, crew in shadows. It is a ship within a ship, ruled by hierarchies that decide who eats, who sleeps, and who survives the contract intact. 16 hours on your feet, a smile forced through exhaustion, and then, Half a paycheck gone. Why? Because one guest left a poor review. This is reality for countless crew. A single complaint can erase weeks of effort, crushing workers who already earn little. One waiter confessed that an angry passenger cost him nearly everything. In this system, kindness is currency, and the wrong expression at the wrong time can mean financial ruin. Lives reduced to ratings. Whispers echo in corridors about those who vanish at sea. A young worker gone overnight. A presumed suicide brushed aside to avoid panic. Families left with silence and missing records. Many of these cases never make headlines, never receive answers. At sea, mysteries drown quietly, erased before questions can spread. For every smiling photo of crew members in brochures, another story hides in the waves, stories that may never be told in full. In luxury yachting and cruising, power protects predators. Reports show over half of female yacht crew have endured harassment, often ignored by captains and managers who protect reputations over people. One woman described enduring relentless advances for months, trapped with no escape and no justice. In isolated environments, predators thrive and victims remain silent. Abuse is not rare. It is woven into the structure of service, with too many forced to choose between silence or losing everything. At 30,000 feet, confessions flow like wine. Attendants become unwilling therapists, listening as married passengers brag of affairs, sometimes with their partners sitting just rows away. Others confess guilt, regret, or secrets never meant to leave the cabin. Crew members carry more than trays of drinks, they carry the darkest truths of strangers. And while those secrets fade once the plane lands, the weight remains with the workers who heard them. Crystal-clear pools sparkle in glossy brochures, but many crew admit the truth is different. Wastewater is often dumped directly into the ocean and filters are ignored. Chlorine is used to mask contamination rather than clean it. One worker admitted, "We faked clean water with chemicals." What appears luxurious can be a chemical cover-up, hiding shortcuts that risk passenger health and marine life alike. Behind the shine lies something far murkier. Bullying is not rare, it is culture. A 30-year airline veteran described a career where threats, lies, and humiliation became normal. On cruise ships, hierarchies create the same hostility. Superiors wield power through intimidation, turning dreams of travel and service into nightmares. What begins as a glamorous career often ends in broken confidence, battered spirits, and resignation. For some, even basic respect is treated as a luxury. Imagine serving endless trays of food and drink, then being denied water at the end of the shift. Crew members confess that after service, resources are locked away. One admitted, "We weren't even allowed water, though we were dehydrated." Essentials withheld, humanity reduced to rationing. Workers who fuel the luxury experience are stripped of their own basic needs, and all of it is enforced by rules designed to protect profits, not people. This is the final mask, the forced gratitude. Crew are ordered to smile, bow, and thank passengers even when wages barely cover survival. 16-hour shifts, endless contracts, exploitation disguised as hospitality. Workers are told to show gratitude for tips that do little to ease their suffering. What passengers see as kindness is often an order, not a choice. The glamour of travel is a disguise. Behind it lie exhaustion, exploitation, and despair hidden in plain sight. Behind every perfect flight, behind every luxury cruise, there are lives lived in silence. Crew members who give everything while receiving almost nothing in return. These are their confessions, the truths hidden beneath the surface. If these voices matter, then let them be heard. Subscribe, share this video, and leave a comment. Should passengers bear responsibility for a system built on invisible suffering? The more people speak, the harder it becomes for those in power to hide.